just seems screaming loud to me.
Pretty loud.
Hey, hello everybody. Hey, look who we've got. We've got Ren's here. The Lovelinator. The Lovelinator is here. Oh, I'm gonna mispronounce this name. How do you say that? Gethsemane? I'm butchering it, I know, but it's our good friend GG Publishing is here. Today is a special day because it's ThursdAGE. And on ThursdAGE, we get to hang out with developers because we are, right in the heart of the Green Ronin HQ. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this music because, stop the presses, we have some, am I going to be able to do it, Ian? I don't know. We have some news. With us today is none other than our good friend, our good pal. Where are you, friend? I know you're here somewhere.
Know.
1 second. I found you. Look at this. Root-doot.
Welcome to Ian and Troy's neighborhood.
That's right. Well, so let me explain. Folks are like, hey, it's 2:10 and you're only now getting started. Well, here's the deal. We can't predict things like hurricanes, which is how they pronounce it in your neck of the woods, right? A hurricane. Oh, a hurricane.
I don't go out.
Ian Ren, you are dealing with the aftermath. Power's flickering in and out. We might drop you, and if that happens, you'll log back in.
Should be fine. It's bright and sunny here, but the power keeps going out every now and again. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what can you do, really?
Not much.
Look at this. Oh yeah, Lovelinator says I'd listen to that podcast. I wonder what that would be. What that would be like. I think it'd be fun. Storycast Rob's here. Good to see you. Let's see. Ian, kind of a big deal today.
I guess. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. You're like, I guess. David Bullock's here and says, in space, no one can taste the gravy.
What's that? You don't want gravy anyway because it'll float around and get in your air filters.
Well, but what if it's in the form of a squatch?
A squatch gravy?
A gravy squatch.
What's a gravy squatch?
You see, some people haven't seen gravy squatch or haven't been exposed to gravy squatch. Here in the coming really days, we're going to be having a Green Ronin retreat where we all get together and we talk about plans and machinations and all those things. And maybe you'll see a gravy squatch.
All right.
It'll change your life.
This will be my first retreat summit thing.
Yes,
I joined Green Ronin right before the pandemic, which,
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Made sure I didn't to go to more.
Right. Ren says, in space, everyone can taste the gravy. It was too close to the vents. For it floated into my face. Yes. Okay, so Ian, let's talk about who you are. Enough of this nonsense. People are here. They want to get to business.
Okay.
You are the line developer for The Expanse, also for ThursdAGE, and also you do a couple other things. You got your own projects going, and so you're a busy, busy man.
Yeah, keep busy.
Yeah, and today you released Trades of the Expanse Scout.
Yes, finally.
Yes.
This is our third installment of the Trades of the Expanse series. Which are, PDF only series of books for the Expanse, which focus on different jobs in the Expanse. Our sort of working title, for it was "Dirty Jobs: The Expanse" or something.
right.
For a long time, and but yeah, it's basically each one focuses on something that player characters or whatever might be doing in an Expanse game or might have done before or what have you.
Yeah, so to date we've released Trades of the Expanse, Busker,
You're right.
Exuberant Dancer,
Ditch Digger,
and Clay, the Play-Doh Eater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And sewer cleaner.
And sewer cleaner. Scout is a bit of a departure.
Yes. No, but wow, we're really in a mood today.
I know, honestly. I told you I ate like 500 grapes before the program, so I'm going to be very animated.
Were they infused with vodka?
No, they're just infused with a lot of sugar, and sugar and me are best of friends.
Right.
But no, so we really did. What did we do?
What? Oh, with Trades of the Expanse?
Yeah, we released.
Well, we have done Bounty Hunter so far, Planetary Explorer, and now Scout.
And Planetary Surveyor.
Surveyor. Did I say Explorer?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no sweat. I mean, it's 6 of 1, right?
Right. Planetary Surveyor and then Scout.
And then Scout. Okay, and so what does Scout? Scout brings a lot of pretty cool things to the mix.
Yeah. So I went back and forth at first Planetary Surveyor and Scout are sort of companion pieces in a sense because Scouts go out and check out new worlds, asteroids, whatever, and then Planetary Surveyors are the people who go down and actually take a survey of the planet or the location. And I had originally thought to do one book for them, but then realized no, these are actually very different things. So we have Scout. Scouts do everything from we have 1,300 new worlds to explore. So obviously that's become a big thing. Personal exploration of the solar system in the Expanse universe probably died down a lot because, well, pretty much everything had been, there had been at least a satellite or something, had gone there, a probe of some kind. Everything has been explored in our most things have been explored in our galaxy. But now with all these new worlds, for people to go out and explore these new places. And I'll discuss the differences even more in a bit. Where was I? I don't know. I think I may.
We were kind of talking about, they are a good pair, or they, as far as I could really see an interesting story being told about their skills and about what they're kind of called on to do.
Right.
But talk about how Scout differs. And am I wrong, or is the Scout a little sneakier?
Well, they can be. But so let's take a step back. The big difference really comes down to is the Scout goes out in a ship and goes to a system, and they go around in their ship, send out probes, what have you, drones, and just map the system and take scans of the planet and say, okay, well, this is what's there, this is what's likely to be found, report that data back. Planetary surveyors, as I was saying, actually come in, land on the planet, asteroid, moon, whatever, and take actual soil samples, catalog creatures that might be there, more closely examine possible colony locations, things like that, future colony locations, or mineral deposits or whatnot. Scouts can be sneaky too, and the Scouts are not always used for checking out planets. Scouts can also be used for checking out other people, installations. Each the UNN and the UN and the MCR both use Scouts to go check out each other's bases, and that can be a risky operation. And Belters do the same, of course, to both. And then or checking out a new installation from some megacorp. They'll go in, sneak in as quietly as they can, take whatever scans they can, and get out hopefully before anyone notices. So Scouts are more in space, and Planetary Surveyors are more on the planet or location.
Gotcha. Hey, Sky Armor Press is here. Good to see you, friend. Okay, so that's interesting. And so would you imagine, how do you see that role changing the dynamic of a group encounter, how does that work?
Well, I would see probably for player characters, you'd probably end up with like if you wanted to run a campaign based around scouting and exploration surveying. You'd have a combination of people. You'd have the Scout who's flying the ship and running all the scanning stuff, and then the actual Planetary Surveyors who are more scientists who once they figure out where something they want to look at more closely, they go there and check it out. Yeah. It could also just be backgrounds for people too. This is what you did before.
I gotcha. Yeah. So it's not like you're saying you must sit on the ship for this entire. You will be a voice. You'll be a disembodied voice. But no,
No.
yeah, I get it. Yeah, and we're kind of getting into Temp is asking, what are the similarities and differences between scouts and the planetary surveyors? We're kind of talking about that now. Like that's sort
Yeah.
of that's the main
Scout
jab of this.
space, planetary surveyors on the planet.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's
they're
right.
both explorers. I mean, I guess that would be the similarity. That they're both looking for whatever they're sent out to look for. Depending on who they're hired by or what their mission goal is. They're both explorers. They can both be scientists. Scouts might not be as much into the science. They might just be, good pilots with good scanning capabilities or what have you.
Sure. They also could be, as Lovelinator mentions, a bounty hunter, because those searching expert systems are useful.
Yep. You could certainly have an ex-bounty hunter working with, with the group of scouts.
Absolutely, yeah. Or maybe not so maybe active bounty hunter.
Yeah. You're probably not going to find bounties on a unexplored planet, but you never know.
That's fair. Yeah, so that's interesting. Talk to me about so clearly there's practical applications. This is, the idea is that there's a lot of space to explore here in this area that's been opened up, and we're sending our surveyors and our scouts. Talk to me about how would you shake up a character and sort of, if you're looking at the scout. I'm going to pop up the PDF here in just a moment.
Sure.
But let me see. I'm going to actually try to do that now. Let's see what happens. That's not quite as pretty as it'll work. That'll work. So while I muck around with this, talk to me about some ways that you would utilize the scout to kind of, to create this character as a kind of interplay between other characters or other, other trades, or even, how would you fashion this character so that they could react well to, what's happening now, what we've got now as far as trades go, and then maybe something that's coming up in the future. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, like I said, the scout and planetary surveyor are really companion pieces. Those are the two that would work best together. Though, of course, any ship is going to need other types of characters. You need an engineer. And is your scout the pilot, or is your scout the person who's running all the scanning equipment, which possibly the second. There as we have done with every Trades of the Expanse book, there is there's a scout specialization that is really more about using technology, using computers, using using scanning equipment to figure out what's out there, whether that be a space station, a top secret installation that you're sneaking up on and trying to figure out what their operations are, how many people are there, what have you, or whether it's an entirely new world beyond one of the ring gates. So you've got a lot of different options in the way that could go. Those are the two that would work together, but they could work with any group of people. And like I said, scout can also just be a background. It can be who you were before.
I like that. Yeah. All right, so not, it doesn't have to be nefarious, or it's just play your character the way you as you build it, play it. I dig that. Hey, Duke's here. Duke, good to see you. Hey, I was going to tell you, Duke. Boy, we had some people. I don't know if your ears were ringing, but there were some folks here at Green Ronin HQ that were just singing your praises. They had a lot of really great things to say about how helpful you've been and what a great sort of contributor you've been. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that, because we do. So there we go. Awesome. Good to see you as well. So, okay. All right. Well, now the Scouts, this trade introduces some pretty awesome tech, right? Some goodies.
Jump into there. Okay.
Sure.
Equipment.
Yeah.
Yes, we got some new gear as always. A few new drones, communications drones, and if you're the sneaky kind of scout, decoy drones, probes, And then we introduced expert systems for computer systems that allow you to upgrade your ship's computer to be a specialist in a particular area: mapping expert system, pathfinding, pattern searching.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned pattern searching earlier, and just general scientific analysis, astronomy, that sort of thing. So these are all new things that you can use in your game. Obviously, not a lot of weapons or anything like that in this one. If scouts getting into hand-to-hand combat, shooting, that's probably not their thing. It could be, but
And I imagine too that the act of sort of claiming a space and sort of even if it's contested, could you probably want some fighting skills.
Oh yeah, you definitely. I mean, ship fighting skills probably more than.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. So look at that. Oops, I jumped here. What is this thing? This looks amazing.
That is intended to be the communications drone, which basically, if you're having communications issues, that you drop one of those to boost your communication signal.
I see.
That sort of thing.
Very, very cool. Okay,
and often people they'll drop them like right inside the ring gate, when they go through, and then go on to explore the rest of the system.
So sort of like extending your Wi-Fi.
Yes, it's a Wi-Fi extender.
There we go.
Yes, that's exactly what they are.
Okay, so let's talk about this, the scouts, the scout, if you will.
The ships, you mean?
Yeah, the ships.
Yeah. Of course, this one does have several ships. We have the Mosquito class Light Scout, which is dubbed the Tin Can. Because basically, it's one person in a very, very small ship. It's the cheapest way to get an actual person to have eyes on a new system, and a lot of it's all computer AI operated as well. But you've got to be good at sitting in a very small space for a very long period of time.
right, yeah. I mean, uncomfy but maneuverable. I like that. Yes. Hey, Owen Casey Stevens is here and says, and like everything man-made and space-worthy in the Expanse, it looks like an industrial skyscraper. Auden, I want to say hello to you again. I was happy to see you here, our buddy who runs the Expanse community over on the Facebooks and is getting ready to do another game jam. I'm excited about that.
I saw that. I'm excited.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm gonna really spread the word, but I want to get people in on that.
Absolutely.
We've had a few, but I want to make that bigger.
You want to blow the lid off? Yeah.
I want to have a stack of 1-page submissions to have to look through. Wait, what am I saying?
Right. I love it. Well, that's how you know it's working.
Yes,
but that's great. And then so we're working really closely with Auden, and we've got a special bonus coupon discount that folks can use. And more information to come. But looking forward to that every year. I think this is our 50th year doing it.
50th. Yeah.
50th year, yeah, it feels like it.
I
think it's our third. I agree with Rent. Says, good to hear from you, Owen, and I agree.
Hi, Owen.
Owen Casey Stevens, the nicest guy in the biz. Okay, so we've got the Heavy Scout, Orion class Heavy Scout.
Yes, Orion class. Wait, what? That you just skipped ahead, but all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We didn't do the Dove.
We didn't do the Dove, but basically, it's a slight upgrade from the Mosquito. As it mentions, some scouts would say the addition of a coffee maker alone achieves this. But yeah, it actually has 2 decks and an actual toilet and things like that. It's often like married couples, or it's sort of a 2-person ship. But it's very similar to the Mosquito, but a little bit of an upgrade. Then the Orion classes for those really long-term, going to spend a lot of time out there, really in-depth look at something. It's Heavy Scout. It's still a fairly small crew usually, but standard crew is 6. But it has a lot more goodies, and just all around a bigger, heavier ship. For more long range. Oh, and also is armed. That's the other big thing. So that would be sort of your we work for the military kind of thing. Either as freelance contractors or something like that.
Yeah. Well, so here,
where
how
you
about
might get shot at.
okay, so the mosquito is sort of the, what you're escaping in or you're
It's a
sneaking
probe
around
with a
in.
person in it. I mean,
Gotcha. So then the dove class, I know it says 24 meters, I'm presuming,
yes.
but that does not. For some reason, when I think of meters, my brain just shuts off. And so, give me a give.
Yards. So three times that in feet, roughly. So
Okay.
60, 72 feet. So probably more like 75 feet because
Okay, so you would compare it to a
are you
like
thinking
a
another
like a
expanse
bus.
ship? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, bus is what, about 60 feet long. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe are they 100 feet? Are they 500 feet?
No, they aren't 100 feet or 500, but 60, 70 feet sounds about right.
Sure. Okay. And so,
I'm willing to go with that.
3.28084 feet to the meter, which is very helpful.
Right. Basically, it's a yard that you can usually roughly think of meters
Okay.
as yards.
All right. So still a little snug, but just definitely a step up from the tin can.
Yeah, yeah. And then I said
like
and then we got up to the Orion class, which is it basically if you're sending people in to think they're going to be shot at, that sort of thing, they're actually built on a retired class of UN Navy patrol ships. They basically just gutted those and built these heavy scouts. So they're used by the navies and also at for contractors and paramilitary groups and that sort of thing. So I mean, might be to go in and scout out a suspected pirate base, might be a type of job you'd get if you have that kind of scout.
Gotcha. And so
they might get shot at.
Gotcha. Okay, and so now we move into the Heavy Scout, which is the Orion class Heavy Scout. And
that was what we were discussing. I thought.
No, I'm sorry. I thought we'd. I see.
I jumped.
I'm sorry.
I jumped.
You jumped, and I was busy. I was pondering what a yard of beer is and how people would drink that at the place called the Yard House. Anyway,
I've drunk yards of beer.
Yeah, you think over the time
here that it's a yard.
Yeah. Okay.
And you drink it.
Yeah. It sounds like I would love one right now. All right. So we talked about the what other aspects did I miss? Frankly, all of it, because I was
just if you think you're going to be getting in the fight, Orion and Orion class is probably if you're going to have a PC group of scouts, then your Orion class heavy scout is that's a great player character ship because it can shoot, it can hide, it's got a lot of different possibilities, and it's a good all around PC ship, player character ship.
Gotcha.
And it holds a crew of 6, so
right.
That's about the perfect size.
Nice. And so I'm looking at some of the bonuses. It's got a drone bay, improved stores, medical expert system, redundant hull. Nice.
2 scouting expert systems, one advanced scouting expert system. It doesn't go real fast, and they often have the aging flaw or something along those lines because they're old, because they're built on old hulls. Yes, improved stores means it has coffee. That's exactly it.
Nice.
NT. If you
Hey, Learn Music is here. Good to see you. Commando Solo 193 says, "Is there a giveaway?" And to that I say, yes. There will be a giveaway. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what we're giving away. I'm kidding. It'll be a copy of the Scout, Trades of the Expanse, the Scout, and we will also, now if you happen to have this one, then we can talk about some other Expanse goodies that we can substitute, or you can gift it to somebody who has maybe not embraced your love for the Expanse yet. So everyone likes to gift. Okay, so now talk to me about this beta class scouting platform. What the heck is that?
That's a big one. That's a big, that's the opposite of the Mosquito.
Sure.
It has, it's nearly 4 times as long. It's 85 meters. It's, or at least more than 3 times as big. It's got a standard crew of 40. I'm sorry, it's nearly 4 times as big as the dove, the mosquito. It's easily
it's so huge.
like
I mean, this is a major step up.
Right.
What are you using? What are you doing when you're deploying this?
So, the beta class would be sort of, I mean, well, you talked about claiming space, for example. You know, you might equip one of these with, you know, bigger guns if you wanted to go in and say, okay, this moon is ours and we're claiming it. But it basically, it has everything you would need for doing a full examination of a site, whether that be, you know, whatever that site is, whether it's a planet, a moon, an asteroid, a stellar phenomena of some kind. But it, you know, it's got tons of drones, and it has a hangar bay for other ships to be on board, you know, for smaller, you know, shuttles and that sort of thing. So you can just, it's a platform. It sits in orbit, and you know, people can go up and down from the planet on shuttles. You know, got massive sensor suites, just everything you'd want. You know,
I know this, when we're talking about like luxury amenities, that means real. I mean, like big shops, and like this is just a This is something people, you know, probably are going to, you know, often are going to be living on maybe for years, you know. Right. So lots of considerations for long space travel, and not cramped, and maybe a little fancier looking in the inside.
Right.
Okay, cool. I love that. And let's see, the flaws are poor acceleration. It's big, and
that's the heavy scout.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I meant to say is high maintenance and lumbering. Which is interesting because it does describe me almost to a T.
I mean, it's a lumbering. I wouldn't think of you as lumbering.
Well, I am, you know, when I'm not particulated, I am 6'5".
Right.
You know, and I do like to lumber just because.
Right.
Owen says, that's me, high maintenance and lumbering. Owen and I come from the same school of comedy.
Yep.
Okay, so, all right, awesome. Now, I know that we jumped over some of the jobs and things, but I wanted to sort of, for me, it felt like I wanted to kind of paint a picture of like what you could be on or in, or, you know, And so then to kind of jump back all the way to jobs.
You just want to throw me off as much as possible.
I really do. This is really a test for you. No, I really was. I was excited about those ships. I think that that's just an aspect of the Expanse that I love so much, and just you know, and that's just the coolest.
And that's one of the things we're really having fun with the Trades of the Expanse books, is really diversifying the classes of ships and things like that people can have, because with the core rule book and everything, it's nice, and even Ships of the Expanse has everything that, you know, was mentioned in the novels or anything like that, and we threw in a few new things, but this is really sort of personalizing it and making a lot of ships that would be useful for player character groups. You know, that's really what this is all about.
I dig it. And, you know, in my mind, when I think of the ships as well, they become such great stages for, you know, all of this stuff, especially when you're looking at the bigger ships. Hey, real quick, I'm going to do a shout out. Owen says, "You loom, Troy. I lumber." And Commando Solo 193 says, "I watched the Expanse RPG on Only Play Wizards, and I thank you for supporting them." Yeah,
I think they're doing some Trades of the Expanse scout giveaways as well, are they not?
They sure are. You know, there's a lot of folks that you know, we've got friends throughout the universe, and we like to hook them up with you know, it's our way of saying thanks to them, and also it's their way to kind of, you know, do something nice for their community. And so you'll see that, and so glad you're here, and thank you for supporting him, and us as well.
Yes. Everybody support everybody. It's a big circle.
That's right. An ecosystem, if you will. Now let's talk about scouting jobs.
Well, again, another thing we've done in the other Trades of the Expanse books, which is just, you know, an ease thing for game masters if they, you know, don't have an adventure for this evening or whatever, and and the players are just, you know, wanting to go find a job to do, you know, some nice tables and things that you can roll on or just use for inspiration. As always, you know, what type of job is your scouting job that you know that you find available? If you're a group of scouts and or whatever, and you're wanting to find a job, you know, what can you find? And you see what kind of location? Is it a system, a star, planet, moon, asteroid belt, comet, constructed location? You know, which would be, you know, that could be your pirate base or your military base or your corporate installation.
Right.
You know, or it could be another colony. You know, like there could be a group that has a colony and maybe another, you know, colony settle on a moon nearby or something. They want to know what they're up to. You know? So
Right.
Scouts to go in and check it out. And then, you know, what are you doing? You know, locating potential valuables, minerals, you know, what have you, determine usability for whatever they want to use it for, whether that be a colony or whatever, map a region of space, chart a navigational route, make sure, you know, if there's a asteroid field or something that they could be going through, what are safe routes to go through. Gather scientific data, locate something specific. So yeah, just basically, you know, where's your job take place, and what are you doing? You know, what are you going to be doing once you get there? And then you have different types of clients that we just, you know, discuss who all would be hiring scouts. You know, governments, and we go into why governments would be hiring you know, people, corporations, scientific institutions, colonization companies, criminal organizations, religious and special interest groups. Remember, you have groups like the Mormons and probably others who want, you know, were looking for planets off world originally, you know,
right,
or even the ring gates open. So, you know, you might have an organization like that, or some new cult or something that pops up that's looking for a world to settle.
Temp in chat says our friend Temporary 67315, who I call Temp or Tempo. So scouts can scout out potential recruits. They weren't joking about the scouting part.
I'm not sure.
So would a job be of a scout would be to go kind of recruit individuals or groups to their
recruiting isn't, I mean, that's not really intended to be the thing here. This is more going and analyzing an area of space or a place from space.
Got you. Now, would you have, you could pick up a job though to go sort of check out an area and get it, you know, and, you know, maybe there are people, or, you know, could the scout, do they have any kind of diplomacy at all, or are they pretty much stuck to the...
They're pretty much space travelers.
Okay.
I mean, again, planetary surveyor, that could possibly weave into there. Again, planetary surveyor goes down on the planet. Or
that's right. Yeah.
They're up close and personal, actually touching, interacting with whatever's there. Scouts are in space. Again, you can have crossover. You could have a scout who acts as a planetary. I mean, it's not like these are strict roles, you know.
Sure. But I think it's important to sort of understand that while there are some points in the diplomacy, you know, like you would want somebody who understood how to communicate ship to ship, right, and sort of what the sort of the social mores of being in space and what's aggressive and all that kind of good stuff. But they're primarily there to get to a place.
Right.
Get the lay of the land so that the surveyor can get on the land.
Yes, exactly. They're taking pictures.
That's perfect. Hey, you know what? Here's a good question. You know, folks are always fascinated about kind of the creation of this stuff. Stepping back to ships real quick, our friends Skyhammer Press ask, how much input do the authors give on new ships?
I'm presuming you mean Ty and Daniel kind of authors.
Yes. Yeah.
They don't give us any direct input. We come up with they review and approve everything. But we don't actually. It's not like Ty or Daniel are saying, "Hey, do this ship" or what have you.
Right, but you try to stick to a vibe, right? I mean,
again, they review and approve everything. So
sure.
So if we went, you know, off course, you know, they'll come back and say, "No, that doesn't work." You know, scratch through it. To do something else. But no, the whole goal of doing this is to make it part of the Expanse universe. So anything we do is focused on making it part of the Expanse universe and feel it. And so far, you know, we've been, you know, haven't gotten any, you know, don't do that from them. So
yeah, not even for the Chiquita banana ship.
Right.
That was really, or the Oscar Mayer Wiener ship.
Right. Yeah. we definitely want to keep it in the Expanse.
That's right. Absolutely right. Commando, I'm with you. Scout. Commander says scouts sound like a great option for an all-around jack of all trades character.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they absolutely could be. And again, there's no. I could definitely see a group who are explorers, who are scouts, planetary surveyors, and then some other people thrown in there as well. You have maybe a pilot and an engineer, and a maybe you have a person who's good at talking to people for negotiating when you run into trouble or what have you.
Yeah, I dig it.
Upgrading your ship.
Right, and really all of this is texture for character building, and sort of helping you, like you were saying earlier. Much of what you've done here is build a set of tools that are almost modular in a way that you can put a little here, put a little there, but it's all about the fun, right?
Yeah, we try and throw in tools for both players. There's a lot, there's a lot of stuff for players in here, and then there's stuff for game masters too. And I think the game master sections are useful for players because there's nothing hidden there. There's nothing in the game master sections that's going to be like, you shouldn't read that. But it sort of gives you you're reading those sections gives you a real sense of what these characters could do and the types of missions they might undertake.
Right on.
And who they would work for.
Now that's the part I really like. The who they look for, or who do they work for, is a very evocative sort of opportunity to really get into some RP.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I mean, are you a scientifically oriented group, or are you more? I mean, Scout Spy could also, have a big crossover. Challenge accepted. Scout Spy would be a good crossover too, assuming we ever did a spy.
I don't know if you saw what Owen said. He said, mostly they say that's too aerodynamic. Make it more brutalistic. Make it hurt make it hurt your eyes more. Okay. So, okay. Now, how the criminal organizations one is very interesting to me. I mean, organized crime, of course, being what it is. Sure. This is quite a cast of characters that you can, build on. Scientific institutions, colonization companies, criminal organizations, and religious and special interest group. What are the special interest groups? Are they political?
The Mormons, Church of Latter-day Saints, religious things like that. Religious groups. I mean, that's sort of, I don't actually have any examples in there for that, but I mean, it just sort of left it open as there could be an individual, particularly a wealthy individual who is looking for a particular flower. I don't know. Or
well, and on the contrary, you do actually have some pretty interesting stuff in here, which is like you talk about the fringe group known as the Devotees of the Ring.
There is that. Yes,
you talk about the. You also talk about the survivalists.
A survivalist group. You're right.
Yeah,
I failed there. I forgot about that.
You failed at not failing. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all possibilities. Anyone, a special interest group would be anyone who's looking for a particular thing that's not part of the mainstream. But people. I think a survivalist group looking for an asteroid to live on. They just want to get away from all of society and want to live on a safe asteroid or moon out there. Well, okay, then that would be a job. They might hire a scout to find a good location for them.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so talk to me about how important it is to get paid.
Well, getting paid is always important.
Right.
And along with the finding jobs part, we then just, get into like, well, what type of income modifier are you going to likely get from a particular job? Obviously, that's going to be up to, your game master, but this is a sort of a guideline for, how much of an income boost these types of jobs would generally give you.
Right. You know what else I like about this? I like it that in thinking about how, you maneuver around getting a job, or, like their motivation is to sort of, get some of that money, and so they can, eat and maybe settle down somewhere and raise a commune or whatever. But I love the idea of like job boards and contracts and all of that stuff being a vector or a venue for adventure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's, yeah.
So again, just it's again sort of like, how are you going about looking for a job? Are you posting up on SpaceNet and say,
Right.
I want a job. Do you have a fixer who can find a job for you? Or are you just, hanging in a spaceport bar and talking to people? Yes. Space Tavern, pick up that Space Dungeon Quest. That's exactly it.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like this character, the job fixers.
Yeah.
People who are looking for someone who can be discreet and do a little bit of, help out a little bit without, making a big scene.
Yep.
I dig that. Let's see here. I'm trying to scroll down. I read that first and I was like, deep space scooting. I'm in.
Scooting.
But scouting, what? Yeah. Oh, I just did that header. Yes. It says deep space scouting out of the corner of my eye. Oh, are you talking about the chat?
No.
Gotcha.
Agreeing with you. Yes.
Yes. Scooting. Yes. Space scooting is the best scooting. Angel asks, are there space drone mining operations?
Space drone, I'm sure there are. I mean, that wouldn't be the job operators. Operators, yes, I'm absolutely certain that there are. And you might see something about that in a very future book, trades book. But
Angel's
it would be probably under a more general miner rather than just space drone miner. But yes, absolutely.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Could a scout be sent to scout out a thing that's already been scouted?
Sure, why not? I mean, maybe there's the data looked suspicious, so you get sent back out to look at it again, or something has changed. There was some stellar phenomena that went off. Well, what happened to the system since then?
Sure. Or maybe there's an agreement being forged, and the scout must go out there to see kind of the first steps into sort of evaluating the deal.
Sure.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, I dig that.
Or I mean that could be a contract group has agreed to build something in space in another system. A scout could be sent out to make sure that they're actually doing it. Is there actually something there?
I like that. So that does touch a little bit on the diplomacy stuff, and I dig that. But sure. I also really like the idea. David Bullock knows that you get the best jobs in space by looking at the penny saver. Owen says, looking for gig murderous killers for a 1 week negotiation support. Ethical groups need not apply. Wow. Yeah, I like that. Due diligence scouting. Yeah, absolutely. That's real. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Temp asks, is there going to be a new stream tomorrow for a certain planetary romance? You be quiet. You'll know it when you hear it and see it. But to you, I say no. But keep asking. It's fun. Mars moisture farmers can be top notch.
Okay.
Yeah. Why not?
Sure.
They're handy. A little soggy.
I would put them on a planetary surveyor team rather than a scout team, but yes.
Sure. Right. With all their direct experience with, wrangling moisture.
I mean, I think that's just the easiest way. Scout is in space. Scouts, zoom around and scan stuff. And that's basically their job. And then planetary surveyor is, I'm down on the planet, I'm digging up samples, I'm, poking at things, I'm, running away from big monsters.
I'm running towards, Yeah, I like that. Okay, I dig that.
I mean, I actually, in Abraxas Precipice, the game that I played of theirs online recently, even though I was like, Planetary Surveyor was not out yet. And I was so sad that it wasn't, because the character I played was a Planetary Surveyor. I mean, that's exactly what they were.
Nice.
I wish the book was out now. But,
okay. All right, so let's talk about challenges.
I mean, these are just, again, GM aids if they're challenge tests based around different things that a scout might do. And it's, again, if the game master is, running a quick adventure that night and, they're scanning a system for a habitable planet, boom, there's your challenge test. Game master doesn't have to take a hour, writing down, making up a challenge test. And we have things like, chart a route through an asteroid debris field, gather scientific data from whatever you're scanning, scan an occupied area. That would be your more probably sneaky scout of, again, scanning an installation of some kind that exists or a colony. search for a system or habitable planet, the one I just mentioned. And I think it's about all we had there. But those are the sort of big primary areas in which you could, of course, tweak and modify. Some can tweak and modify very easily, depending on the story they have in mind. But there you go. You got a challenge test with all of your consequences, minor, moderate, and majors, difficulty number, success thresholds, time per test, and skills, ability focuses that would be appropriate for that challenge test. And yeah, again, easily tweakable, too.
Right.
Easier or what have you. But just basically GM aids to make your life make the life easier of a game master, especially when it was a busy life.
Well, yeah, and so I dig that. I dig it especially because there is I love moments where the GM and the player can come to an agreement about the way things work.
Yeah. And well, I would say I love challenge. I mean, one of the things the first time I read through an age book, I love challenge tests. I love the concept of them.
Me too.
When I'm writing an adventure, I hate them because it takes time. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
What would be the difficulty, success threshold, how long, and figuring, and then what ability focuses, did I miss anything, all, and then coming up with all the consequences if you fail. All that, it just takes time. Like I said, for me, it takes me 15 minutes to an hour to come up with a decent one. And so, these are really just time savers to give you something to bounce off of and when you're creating your adventures.
I love it. I
like time savers personally.
Yeah, I do too. And I just, again, anything that kind of helps you step into a structure that everyone sort of understands and can agree to is a great way to get all that stuff out of the way so you can get into, having fun. So here we go. A sensor stunts.
Yep. I mean, again, scanning stuff is the job of a scout. That's what, of the scout character. Now, like, again, I just sort of want to go back to this. A scout group, like if you had the 6-person ship or what have you, you're going to have all kinds of different roles on that ship. Not everybody there is going to be technically a scout. I mean, it might be a scout ship, but, only one of them may have a scout background, that actually knows the scientific requirements for being a scout. But these are, basically ship sensor stunts, again, could be used by scouts, could be, used by anyone, really, if you're using your ship's sensors. And it's a thing we've been doing with all the trades books, is just throwing in a few new stunts to have fun with, for particular situations, in this case, scanning.
I dig it. So let's see. We talked a little bit about income, tools of the trade. We talked a little bit about that stuff. We did. We did talk about communications. The decoy drone is really just a sneaky thing, and the probe is just sort of. Here's the probe right here. Is this the probe?
Yep. No, that's actually the image is the communications drone.
I know. I'm joking. Primarily because I would hope that the probe would not look like that.
I was going to say the probe would be a lot smoother and
yes, maybe less. Okay, so doing the work. I know, right? Exactly. Let's and moving on.
We're not in a meeting. We're
get a little behind the scenes look. We are. Let's see. Okay, so. All right. So talk to me about this doing the work section. What is the main sort of purpose?
You've got your scout specialization, which is a specialization if your character had a background of being a scout. Novice is you're adept at making the most of your instruments. When looking at something, if you fail an intelligence technology test when using your sensors, you can re-roll it. Like I said, sensors, that's going to be the thing of the scout. You get a bonus for making advanced tests for astronomy, for expert, and you also you get bonuses on the drama die, so you will complete advanced tests quicker, and your sensor and master your sensor ratings act as if they're one higher. If you're running the sensors, simple as that. But you're a sensors guy.
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, awesome. And so then reputation.
just new reputations
Yep.
but good and bad for scouts that are scout specific, which I find reputations to be fun.
Yeah, me too.
They're just a lot of fun to play with. And yeah, everything from expert scout to the eyes of the OPA, that would be a stealthy scout, deep space dweller. If you're somebody who spends forever on one of those big stations, big ships and never comes home. And then bad reputations from your personal about things, that kind of thing. You're passive.
I dig it. It. Okay, so real quick. I wanted to get to that, but first, before we dive into the churn, I'm going to start collecting comments. Ian, we're going to do a giveaway, and we can do, we'll do as many as we've got the stomach to do. But talk to me about, what do you think the hashtag should be? I was thinking hashtag Ian Lemke's great. I'm an Ian Lemke fan, or like I'm a ThursdAGE, or
like
just straight up ThursdAGE.
ThursdAGE.
Yeah. Well, what do you or buy trades of the Expanse for the Scout? That's kind of a long one, but what do you think? What are you feeling?
Just trades of the Expanse Scout would be good. I like
trades of the Expanse.
That's long. I didn't make
trades of the Expanse. It's not too long. Trades.
Thirsty for Thursday. I mean, if you want a hashtag that's gonna pick up on what we're doing. But what was the other ThursdAGE when you Expanse trades? Yeah, that's good too.
What is it?
Someone just Expanse
trades.
ThursdAGE.
Yeah.
I liked.
Let's see. I think here. Let me finish this up real quick. I'm gonna say it's gonna be. Let's see. ThursdAGE is for ThursdAgents. ThursdAGE is for ThursdAgents, and it'll look a little. I'm gonna just so everyone can see it. And what happens is that you start doing this. 1 second. In the chat.
ThursdAgents.
And then let me hold on real quick. I'm going to remove. We'll come back to this. I'll leave that on the page, and then I'm going to share a screen that I'm going to sing about while okay, hold on. You'll be able to see
play that opening music you were playing,
or that news. Dun 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 dun. Let's see. Stop, and then we'll start again. And we will do it with this. As you know, ThursdAGE is for people who are in love with the adventure game. Sorry, I'm looking at something. The adventure game engine, which is our proprietary, sort of the mechanism to get you through it. And here we go. Nope, that's not it. There we go. And you shall see it momentarily. Wow,
you really went all in.
It's a horrible hashtag. But you know what? We're horrible people.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, Ren's Expanse trades is better. But I'm already committed. So drop that into the chat. Thirst trades. ThursdAGE. I do like that. Drop in, because I can't drop it in there or it will put me down as a winner. Look at that. We got one entry. Okay, nice. Okay, so folks, you do that and continue to do that. And then we'll do a drawing, because right now we only have one person. It's Commando Solo. And we have plenty of people in watching right now. So get in it. Yep, 2. Nice. This is a new wrinkle, Ian, so we get to sit here and count, which is riveting. And,
I would like to do these like right after I develop them instead of 3-6 months later. I'd be so much better at this.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, what often happens. I mean, I usually finish my development work, and then of course it has the art, production, blah blah blah. And
that's
so
right.
by the time we get around to doing and they get released and doing this, I've been on to 2 or 3 other books of some kind. It's like Trades of the Expanse Scout. Was that a book I did? Oh yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so talk to me a little bit about how you tackle your workload in general. So, I mean, like, do you go through sort of feast and famine moments, or is there always something kind of going on in your real life that it's always just a feast?
Well,
there's just a little
since
manic hint to
December.
that laugh.
Ish November. I don't know when it was. Like I said, I forget things, but there is no famine. Right now, my challenge has been juggling everything. I have to very carefully sort of block off and say, okay, I'm working on this for 2-3 hours, whatever, and nothing else. And I have to be careful not to let myself get distracted with something else, because it's so easy. And because at this point, yes, I'm usually working on at least one. Well, no. Realistically, I'm usually working on 2 or 3 books on some level for each line.
That's right.
For both Fantasy Age and the Expanse, because there's one that's usually in development, at least, sometimes 2 if it's a trade situation. There is one that I'm outlining and contracting and talking to people, getting it rolling and writing, and then there's usually something I'm redlining,
That's right.
First draft. So often I'm working at 3 books at the same time for either given line. And then, as you mentioned, I am doing my own project too. So I have to, carefully cut up my day, even between the Expanse and Fallen Age, or, I don't get anything done.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, I think that one of the things for me personally, I enjoy is an opportunity to sort of share with folks what things are like, and I think that people can kind of get a sense of it. And many of the people who are fans of what we do, they're also developers, and so it's kind of nice to maybe commiserate just a bit. But here we are. We have got 7 entries right now. I'm going to go ahead and do a draw, and I'm going to see what happens.
All right, do it. Oh my goodness!
So wait.
I'm excited. Oh, Roger Genius Games.
Roger. It's Rouge. That's Rouge.
Oh, Rouge.
Genius.
Oh, Rogue.
It's Rogue. It's Rogue. Congratulations. I'm going to, just for now, just for this moment, I'm going to stop with that. I'm going to put you there. And I'm going to change the verbiage because I think it's a little...
My apologies, Rogue.
Onerous.
But my actual screen here for that is really small, and I have
it is small
open big. Well, no, I have it small on my screen and have the trades book open.
That's
big,
right.
So I can
so I think for this next one, we'll just do hashtag it's Rogue Genius, you jerk. No, I'm kidding. We'll do hashtag we'll just do straight up Thursd. Actually, you know what? I thought there's a really good one. What was it? Let me look back in the chat.
ThursdAGE.
Yeah, that was good. But there's a better one.
I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember it now.
Let's see. We can either do Expanse Trades is good. I like that. ThursdAGE gets an absolute, and we're not doing that.
Scouts Trades. Of the Expanse.
Thirst Trades is pretty funny. But what did you say, Ian?
Scouts
you said
of the Expanse would be very straightforward. Scouts of the Expanse.
I like it. I like it so much. So, and hold the phone one moment, please hold, as I get ready to share. You know what I like about this too is that we can just pop off with a good giveaway anytime. I like that, and it's a good way to do it. Okay, so here's your hashtag. Hashtag Scouts of the Expanse. Making sure that I spelt that right. I dig that too, Commando. You're very nice for saying hashtag we love Green Ronin. But it's Scouts of the Expanse. Hashtag Scouts of the Expanse. Drop that in the chat right now, and we'll do another giveaway. Congratulations to Rouge, Roger Rouge.
Roger Rouge.
Yeah, right. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. People are making me laugh. And there's an entry. I like that. Good deal. Now, if no one were to put another entry in, that'd be okay. We want Commando to win, but you're a winner even if you lose. Okay, so
no, there's no losers.
No, there's only winners.
There are winners, but
yes,
no losers.
That's right. No, we all win in some ways. It feels like less of a win, and sometimes it's feeling a little negative. But that's just a different kind of winning, right?
I guess so.
Okay, so we're about 8 minutes. We did start a little late.
Yeah.
And so we're giving people some bonus ThursdAGE. The final bit that I'm not going to be able to show, but it's the churn.
The churn. Again, we do this with all the trades books. Is do a churn options for.
Imagine you're hearing about the Expanse for the very first time, and you're like, "Huh, the churn sounds fascinating."
All these people know about the Expanse.
Now, come on.
If basically the churn is a concept in the Expanse role playing game, which is again one of my favorite things, where the better players do. The churn is a concept in the Expanse universe as well. Amos talks about it repeatedly. There's a book called The Churn of that. Things always seem to be going along fine, and then eventually the churn gets you. Something bad happens essentially.
Right.
And we do the same thing with the game. Of the more stunt points people spend, the more things they succeed at as they go along. The churn tracker goes up, and at a certain point, you have a chance of something bad happening. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen that time. The churn tracker keeps going. And then maybe something worse happens. And if nothing happens that time, it goes all the way to epic complications and something really horrible happens.
That's right. Yeah, and so that part, and then the other part of that is how you can theme.
Yes, you can theme them.
Yeah,
based on the type of story you're doing. And we have sort of generic examples in the core rulebook that are really great, but they don't always fit every circumstance. So in this case, these are great for scouting type missions. Which, just for those of you who are familiar with the Expanse, you understand like minor complications are things like scout loses 1d6 on accumulated successes on an advanced test. Ship strikes a micrometeorite causing minor hull loss. Major gets into a rival shows up who's trying to poach your scout job. You might have one of the threats out there turns out to be higher ranking than you expected. You might move moderate to major and up the stats a little bit on an enemy. Epic complications go into the scout's client has intentionally misled them or outright betrayed them in some way, possibly leading to a trap. You found out you were actually playing Shadowrun. That happens in every Shadowrun.
Right, exactly. That's great. And so what I love about that, though, is that it's just a continued sort of almost a faceting of the churn mechanism to really be reflective of the people that are engaged in the counter, which I think is great. I'm going to do a drawing real quick. What would a nuclear meltdown of ship engines be?
That would fall under epic. I mean, you should still give everybody a chance to escape, but that could theoretically be, or is suffering a meltdown. Like I wouldn't like make a churn result. Your engines blow up, because that's
right.
But I mean, maybe there's a problem, that needs to be addressed right now, and you've got a pirate ship coming in at you, and so.
Right. But if you happen to be around a bunch of nuclear ships. Engines and they're melting down, I'm just saying they all get together and they cluster. That would be called a disaster. No, it would be called a what did you say? Would it be called a worrying? Like you get animals together, mammals come together like a murder.
Oh, I see. A collection of ships that are all having a meltdown.
Yes. Welcome to comedy. Okay, I'm going to push this button and see who wins this giveaway. Come on, look at this. Oh,
I love this. I want to do more ThursdAGE.
Nice. Absolutely. And as is my way, I am going to say the third giveaway, I will, with my powers, say, Commando, you win. We're going to send you in. We really like your attitude. We like your constitution, the cut of your jib, all of that good stuff. But we do appreciate the good vibes. And so, do me a favor, if you will. Let me put you back. There we go. Folks, if you won, I believe we had Owen's Rouge Genius. We have Gerbo the Druid. And Commando, send a note to Let's Play at greenronin.com. Send it over, and we'll get you hooked up. Now, here's the deal. If you've already picked up your trades, then we'll find something else for you to enjoy. And it'll be on the house, a gift from us to you, and with a big thank you for all your support. And, a great show, a great guest, an awesome topic. And we really appreciate everyone being flexible. And you know how these things go. It's sort of like catch as catch can, and we just do as we can. And we appreciate all your support. Ian, where can people find you? What things do you got cooking? Where should folks look for you?
I mean, obviously, people can find me on Facebook and such. You can find me on the Green Ronin homepage and contact information there should you ever need to reach me. I am also, I also do my own thing, which is a game called Nevermore. It's a role-playing game of American Gothic horror, which my company is Nepenthe Games, which you can also find online as well if you're interested in Gothic horror type stuff. Nice. I want to answer that one question here. Yes, you can dump your core. It's not that hard usually, unless it jams or something. The problem is then you have no Epstein drive. You can't.
Right. The question
you are stuck in space at that point.
That's exactly right. Duke asks, do ships in the Expanse have a reactor eject function?
That's what I just answered.
But we didn't read the question. We just gave
I'm sorry. I didn't.
That's okay. I know. It's all right. It's all right. This is what I do for business. But friends, I want to say we're gearing up for our big retreat. So we're going to be hanging out. If there's anything you'd like me to say to Ian, you want to give him a gift. You are a big fan of you like Gothic wigs.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I always put on a Gothic wig whenever I go out.
It's your thinking wig, or whenever you need to go out, keep your dome warm. But hey, that's right. Hey, thanks for hanging out. We're kind of moving all over the place in this show today, but I really appreciate it. You're always a blast to hang out with, and you'll come back again, right?
Yeah, sure. I have the attention span of a ferret. I'm sorry.
You and me both, friend. We are a team supreme. With that, I want to say, friends, can I poke you on Discord? Yes, Duke, I can. I can poke you on Discord. And a real quick question, Ian, what happened? What do you call a group of goths when they get together?
Oh, I know that. Ravens? I don't know.
I don't either. But if you know the answer, friends, send a note to Ian and tell him. With that, I say, have a great rest of your week. We will see you. We got an actual play coming up this weekend for Mutants and Masterminds. And then Monday, no M&M Monday, because we are on a vacation. It's a break. It's a Labor Day. So you won't see us for 2 Mondays. But in our heart, you will remain a black lace of goths. I like that.
I read that wrong at first. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, on that note, we've hit all the major highs of comedy. We're going to leave. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.